So I saw some interesting news today scrolling, and I noticed that one of a GOAT director who makes incredible films is looking to make a Jesus movie and is in talks with the Pope. So what does this headline say?
Headline says, Martin Scorsese meets Pope Francis, announces film about Jesus.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, with
forgot that portion.
with this director, with this news, I kind of have a gut reaction to it. And before we get into the details, if there are much of any details here, I'm curious to know what your guys' first gut reaction before we explore more of the ideas around this news, right?
Noah. That's the first thing I thought of.
You always kind of go to what are like the worst Jesus films? What are the worst Bible films and examples of Bible stories that have been told poorly? Noah. There was that Bible series on like Discovery or something wild like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the History Channel. Yeah, the Joaquin Phoenix.
Mary Magdalene or something.
I don't know if Martin Scorsese is the right person to be filming this particular genre.
Right. So, I mean, with this headline, it says that he's in talks or meetings with the Pope to do this. Now, there's a lot of people he could talk to. To go directly to the Pope is, I don't know if he's asking permission or if he's it's a whole like marketing thing.
His quote here is interesting. It says, "I have responded to the Pope's appeal to artists in the only way I know how, by imagining and writing a screenplay for a film about Jesus." So I imagine that the Pope
prompted this.
I want to say his audience, not his the Pope asked the people of the church to, I guess, make content. He wanted to find some artists, people who are willing to do what folks have done all throughout the ages and create art depicting scenes from the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, how many cathedrals, how many stained glass windows, how many of these things have been created. And now in this era, it's movies and TV that we're seeing a big push, especially now with The Chosen on the rise and popular Christian media really coming up. I can see how the Pope would be like, well, we need to have something. We need artists who are willing to create as kind of a representatives of the Catholic Church.
I mean, I think that is just the, I don't know, the essence of it. Kind of shows what Hollywood is, because I want to talk about kind of something that's going on with this weekend, the live action Little Mermaid. And they've been doing these live action films, not because we need them, not because they're good art. They did one and it was like, oh, it made a lot of money. Let's do another one. It's easy and we can make a lot of money from it. Okay. So they are seeing this, a lot of money is coming out of the Christian film realm, and Hollywood wants a part of it.
Right. Well, Hollywood wants a part of it. I think the Catholic Church wants a part of it as well. Revenue stream. This is another revenue stream.
Entertainment. Whether
you like or hate the Catholic Church, I'm sure they see it as ministry. Right. Of here's a way that we can make money for the glorification of God, or however they see what they're doing. Glorification of the Pope or the Catholic Church, probably more like.
Right.
It's interesting. Because Martin Scorsese is, like Italian American filmmaker. The Catholic Church is so ingrained into the Italian American culture. I think that a lot of people would maybe take it for granted that, he's Italian American. He's probably grew up Catholic. That doesn't mean he's still an avid follower of the Catholic belief. He may
That's true.
Maybe like keeps up with it. Like, he ads on it.
Right.
Maybe he goes to a confessional every now and then.
It's kind of the idea of everyone, who was born into a Catholic family is a Catholic, or, was raised in a Christian home is a Christian kind of thing.
You wouldn't. Yeah. If somebody grew up going to a Baptist church, for example, and then they left the Baptist church, went to be an actor in Hollywood, and they don't interact with any churches.
Yeah.
But they're a famous actor. Would you expect a Baptist pastor to call them and be like, "Hey, can you make a film about the Baptist church and what it's really like?"
Right.
No, they're not really an authority on it. Maybe they could act well in the movie, but they're not going to be an authority on that subject.
Well, this leads my brain into an interesting question I have is it that important that someone who is either non-practicing or just isn't a person of faith at all, is it to you, is it important that someone who makes a film about Jesus, and specifically Jesus, because that's a very important character of the Bible or person in history, does anyone that makes a show about that need to be a believer or have a form of faith, or are they just thinking of it as creative expression? Like, how important is that?
You got a response?
Go.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a requirement. It's certainly a plus if they are a practicing believer to be
for respect and reverence.
Right, for the respect and reverence. However, I think you can have respect and reverence for something if you're not part of it. The main thing is we know who Martin Scorsese is. We know what types of films he's made and is currently making, and he's
doesn't vibe with his brand very well.
He's not the kind of person who makes a separation between himself and his films.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? It's a Scorsese film. It's not a Jesus film.
Yeah.
You guys understand?
Yeah, it's a Scorsese film about Jesus.
About Jesus.
Right.
Right. And that's where we get that's where the issue falls for me. I don't know that just because he's a big name, because he may have some Catholic ties somewhere in there, that he's the right person to be doing this.
No.
But the Catholic Church is, I don't know, strange? Strange? And not necessarily always in the negative way that we always associate with it, Hunchback of Notre Dame style.
No.
But strange in the, they wouldn't see it as a negative. If Martin Scorsese is saying, "Oh, I go to confessional and I do the Hail Marys and I have the rosary and everything," they don't see it. They're like, "Oh, that's perfect. That's great. He was baptized and
he's a part of the church.
He's part of the church,
part of the crew, part of the ship."
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, this is very early right now. Just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson also, I would say he professes to be a Catholic.
He's a practicing Catholic.
Yeah, practicing Catholic, and he made The Passion of the Christ, and that's a fantastic film.
Agreed.
And very again, respectful and reverent of Christ.
Yeah, I think it falls under the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? If there has to be that evidence. I think you see it more with Mel Gibson, though he's done some questionable things.
Right.
Said some very questionable things.
And it's not so much for me, I mean, to make a distinction between what you're saying, Wyatt, between Martin Scorsese making a film and Mel Gibson. I mean, Mel Gibson said some questionable things and he's done a few questionable things, but Martin Scorsese's films, his body of work doesn't line up even close to what morality, according to Bible, according to Jesus' message, might be. And so I'm not bashing on his creative expression, and I'm not bashing on him as a filmmaker. He's a genius filmmaker and storyteller, but he does some dark and debaucherous movies, if we're being honest. You know
I mean, I want to see Robert De Niro as Pontius Pilate? Maybe.
Right.
No, I don't see Robert De Niro in coming on for the Jesus film,
Right.
Except maybe it's like a
that.
minor like background.
That would
role?
be fantastic.
I don't know.
You want to see Robert De Niro? He's in his 80s, isn't he?
He's old.
Yeah,
He's old. He
pretty
just
old.
had a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. That I'm going a different direction.
I mean, he just starred in a movie recently that's coming out,
Yeah.
and he's going to be in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes,
He
he
is,
is. So he's still doing some good
Still doing
stuff. I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
we will. In fact,
I don't
see.
think we will see. I think this might not work out.
It may. Yeah, this may never come to fruition.
The Pope
I mean, we know
might
that,
say no.
I know there were some pictures here of him meeting the Pope, seeing the Pope. Really lovely pictures.
He looks happy.
Yeah,
They both look happy.
yeah. It's a good photo op.
Right. Pope Francis is looking a little old there.
He is looking old.
He was old already, and he's looking real old now.
Yeah. I don't know how long do you stay with the Pope until you pass?
So,
don't
cool
know.
factoid. Yes, that was the rule until the one right before Pope Francis said, "I'm done," and he hasn't died yet. And everyone's like, "That's not protocol, bro." And then Pope Francis came in behind him and was like, "I'm already an old man, but I'll be the advocate
He's like, I'll
on
finish
behalf
up
of
his
God."
term.
Yeah, I'll finish his term. So yeah, it was Pope Francis was the new pope after an anomaly situation, right?
And I believe the article goes on to explain Scorsese's other films. I think Silence was one about the Jesuit priests, and Pope Francis was a Jesuit.
Yeah.
I think he's actually the first Jesuit pope.
Interesting.
The
What
article
does,
talks about that, so go check out this article.
What's Pope's what's Mr. Francis's day to day? Is he kind of like, is he doing the tongue thing with little boys? Like,
I don't.
Whoa.
There was some issues. With the
I'm not
one
going to say
pope.
there's not that. They don't have that reputation, but I also am saying, bro, when it comes to talking about online hate, don't talk bad about Pope.
I don't. No, I think for the most part they're doing like king stuff.
Yeah, like living like kings.
I think they do a lot of the same stuff that the monarchs in England do.
Right.
Okay.
You know, they look over written stuff.
Right.
Probably read letters.
educate us a little bit, because I don't know.
Lily says, "Sup,
ignorant.
guys." Just want to throw that out there.
very
Lily,
Sup.
what's up, Lily? Hey, somebody's
Very
here.
cool.
Good to have you here in the chat.
Well, we are kind of wrapping up this portion about Martin Scorsese's Jesus film. But if you have anything to add about this.
Well, I would say let's give our final thoughts, because, we don't want to cut off too early.
Yeah.
This is a big moment, I feel like, for cinema, because anytime Jesus movies come up in cinema, whether it's The Chosen, whether it's The Passion, whether it's something, like we said earlier with Mary Magdalene, Bible stories are super important to get accurate. And if you're not, you're doing a more artistic thing, there's going to be a very big backlash that comes along with that. And so someone like Martin Scorsese, although he's a great filmmaker, I have reservations about how he's going to create any movie about that's related to the Bible, let alone about the main character or the main person
the main
of the
protagonist.
Bible, the antagonist, if you will, of the Bible. Protagonist, not antagonist. And who would be the antagonist?
Satan.
Hold on, no. What about this?
What?
The fallen nature of man, or Satan.
Ooh,
who's the real antagonist?
Yeah. I think it's that first
the fallen
one.
nature of man.
My overall thoughts is I think that Scorsese probably could make a really good film about Jesus. He would just need to
harness his creative expression a little bit.
No, I think he would need to be under a lot of peer pressure from the Catholic Church,
accountability.
From people, accountability. People around him saying you need to make this about the Bible and not about yourself.
Right.
Which is understandable. And all directors are making movies, and they're all making movies with putting a lot of themselves into the film. And that's part of it. That's part of artistic expression.
Yeah. We got a comment?
No. Let's keep going.
You just checking?
I'm just checking.
What's our next thing?
Right. Before we do that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're on the playback or you hear it live, we want to ask you, if you would, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. consider liking this video and hitting your bell notification so you are aware whenever we come out with more videos or go live like this video here.